Rob and Kale podcasts. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome into the show today. Thanks for checking us out. Got a lot of things we're going to get into today, including I don't think the NFL cares about women. We'll get into that. Also, I titled the show Ceilings because I thought we could talk about the ceilings for some teams today. And of course, we'll take your calls this afternoon at 803-470-2905. Make sure the link is up, by the way. We were talking about it last night with the actual Calloway's Pick'em contest, where you can win a shit ton of money for the holiday season if you have football knowledge. We also call it the Pick'em Challenge that Peg and Megan is going to finish in the bottom third of everyone that's in it because he knows nothing about the game of Hut Hut. But you can win. It's $20. We pick 10 games a week against the spread. Jackpot, by the way, my podcast partner, the number one Gamecock YouTuber on the planet, he's gone batshit crazy. He wants to pick the week 0 games. Yeah. Look at Peg and Megan, not over there. I already told him that I am making sure that I pay for your entry. That way I get to laugh at you fully hardcore all the way through. So, yeah. So there's that. Anyway, the link is right there in the show description. Click that. You send $20 to Carolina Jackpot. He holds it in his PayPal account. He will not spend it on beer money. Someone sent me that last year. Saying, hey, is Jackpot going to spend that on beer for the games? No. Jackpot is not going to do that. He is not going to do that. He's going to hold on to it, and you're going to have a chance to win. So bigger the pot, the more people that are there, obviously. And thanks to Calloway's for sponsoring that, as they do every year. All right, so I found, I got to start with, really quick here, the NFL pretty much doesn't care about women. It's kind of the way I look at it from this perspective. I know some people are going to get upset with me for saying this, especially from the Clemson ilk, because if you go into a Facebook group and it's a Clemson group and you mention Deshaun Watson, the soccer moms in there will literally come out and say things like, those whores are lying and blah, 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 blah. It really is a tough thing because we talked about the numbers. 77 massage therapists in like a 3-month period is what he did on Instagram. Okay. There's something not chemically right up there, in my opinion, with Deshaun Watson. The NFL came out today and they're suspending him. The disciplinary officer, Sue L. Robinson, suspended him for 6 games for the season. Now, the NFL wanted at least a year. Okay. But they didn't get it. Here's the thing. 6 games just doesn't sound like much. There should be a fine there too. I really believe that. But Deshaun Watson will serve these 6 games, and he'll go out and he'll play quarterback at the end of the year because we know between the lines he's absolutely great. One of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And he'll go out there and he'll lead the Browns. And if the Browns can go 3-3 in those first 6 games, they might make the playoffs because Watson is that good. And he'll have he won't do much press, none of that. Then he'll come out in the summer or late spring next year, right after the draft, and they'll run him through the press ringer, and he'll do interviews that sound heartfelt, and he'll talk about how he has just such a glowing respect for women, and talk about his mom and how, she lost part of her tongue due to cancer and things like that. And he'll get the soft, warm, fuzzy spot there, and people will forget about all these accusations that came out, no one will care by this time next summer. And I tell you what, the people in Cleveland, they won't care if they're going to the wild card game. They'll line up the massage therapist for him because their franchise is shit. We know that. We absolutely know that. But you know what? Roger Goodell didn't have the satchel to go up against the Players Association. And the Players Association, they were so hardcore on, they literally came out and said, we don't think he should be suspended for anything. You don't think that he's brought like an odor to the NFL with the way that this stuff came out? It's so bad. The Houston Texans, they settled the lawsuits that were filed against them out of court. They didn't want to even go to court with it. Okay? And this is the Houston Texans who have more money than anything. No, we don't want to deal with that. We'll cut those women checks and get them the hell on out of here. I don't know what happened in those massage therapy rooms. Some of the women were more graphic in what happened than others. But the sheer number of women that have come up, and the fact that he was using massage therapists as some sort of, I don't know, kink is the best word I can think of here. When you have 77 different ones in a 2-month period or 3-month period, there's something that's wrong there. And by the way, someone put out, I think it was in the Houston, whatever the big Houston newspaper is, they basically had photos of the majority of the women that were there. And I would say that all of them would come across as very attractive women. This wasn't about the massage. This was about come play with my private parts. And I don't know if he can be fixed from that. I don't think you can be chemically fixed from that. I really don't. He thinks that he's got money and that women are an object that he can buy. And he found it easier with some of these massage therapists. And the crazy thing is that how many things did we not know about? How many things did he throw down and do what was it, a Derek Jeter fruit bag at the end of it, where here's your bag of fruit and $20,000. Have a nice day. There's that too. We don't know that either. But the NFL, they don't care about women. It's pretty much what it boils down to. So I agree with Dennis. Dennis, welcome to the show. The Big Ben rule. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger was raping women in like college bars in the bathroom. Still went on to an NFL career where he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. And if you go in Pittsburgh, they think he's the greatest ever. So yeah, there's that too. But in case you didn't know, the NFL doesn't care about women. And by the way, for the people that are still defending Deshaun Watson, if you're a dad, I got 2 daughters. Okay? Would you leave them in a room alone with Deshaun Watson? The answer has to be, if you care about your kids, is no. Or if you're trying to get a cash out, then it's yes. So there you go. Crazy with that story. All right, so I thought we'd do some ceilings for teams today. And we'll start with what I mean by ceilings is this is the absolute best that I think that they can do. So we'll go team by team here. Biscuit says 6-game suspension is a joke. By the way, you guys can chime in on this too at 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. The best case scenario for Alabama, obviously, is that they have the talent. They're number 1 team in the country. They can go 12-0 and be the national champion. Same thing for Georgia, too. Georgia, in my opinion, the more and more I look at the Bulldogs, they, in my mind, how can I put this? They shouldn't be challenged until the SEC championship game. I mean, tell me what game is going to be a challenge for them. They don't have Alabama on the schedule. there isn't a game on that schedule that you look at and you're like, you know what? That's going to be a tough game for them. What, Oregon? The lower back tattoo folks, they'll talk about, oh, they played that rugged SEC schedule. It's really not that. With the talent that they have, I think Georgia wins every game on the schedule by at least 13 points. I mean, feel free to let me know either way. So with that, I've got Georgia. Their best case scenario is 12-0, and they could be the national champion. Some other teams in the mix here. Let's talk about LSU for a second. LSU has to play in the tougher side of the SEC in the SEC West. I think the ceiling for LSU is 8-4, in my opinion. I think anything more than that, they're kind of in a spot there where 7-5 may be the floor, but 8-4 is probably the ceiling for them. So, yeah, I think that I like the couple of edge rushers they got, and I think they're going to be really, really good at some things, but that schedule's tough, really is. So I like them at 8-4. I think is the ceiling there for LSU. Kentucky. I've read some stuff where people think, man, Kentucky can go 9-3 this year and go to a New Year's Six bowl. And then I read something somewhere, and I wrote it down here. The last time Kentucky had fewer than 3 SEC losses in a season was 1977. Biscuit says LSU has enough talent for 9-3. I went with 8-4, Biscuit, because of the new schemes that are down there with Coach Kelly, and I'm not really sure who the quarterback's going to be. So there's that. We can agree to disagree on that one. But Kentucky, I don't know how they're going to go 9-3. I think Kentucky's a 7-win football team. They lost Wendell Robinson. They lost Josh Paschal. They lost Darian Kennard. So I think they're going to win 7. So we'll give them 8 as their ceiling for the Kentucky Wildcats. Mizzou, I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They don't have their running back that they had last year, Tyler Beatty. I found this also interesting. You know how many SEC road games that Mizzou has won since 2014? 7. 7-21 SEC road record in the last 7 seasons. So they don't win much away from the Dirty Columbia, as they call it, or as the South Carolina fans call it. I'm not sold on Brady Cook, new defensive coordinator. There's just a lot of things that are there. All right, let's go to the phones. And welcome to the program.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. I just wanted to talk about LSU.
What you got?
I think that they're underrated. I mean, I know I'm a little biased, but I think they can win 9 or 10 games this year.
Okay. Turn down what you're listening on so we don't have to hear it twice. But you look, Biscuit likes it online too, and thinks they could be a 9-win team. I just think the schedule's a little tough.
Yeah, I know, but they still are very talented. We got Brian Kelly, who's a proven winner at head coach, and I think that they can. Don't call me crazy, but I think that they might have a shot being Bama next year.
Okay. Well, hey man, I appreciate you calling on that. And once again, thanks for watching the show.
You're welcome.
All right, there we go. So anyway, we were talking about Missouri. Yeah, 7 SEC road wins in the last 7 seasons. Yeah. And of those 7 wins, 2018 Florida was the only one of those teams who went on to play in a bowl game. Peg and Megan being dumb as usual. UK is an 11-win team if they played an ACC schedule. By the way, for the folks that, I looked this up the other day because there are simpletons like Peg and Megan there. Do you realize that last season, in the regular season, Clemson played 4 teams that finished in the top 25? South Carolina played 3 teams that finished in the top 25, and one of those was Clemson. But they play in that mighty, mighty SEC, man. The one that Peg and Megan's over there with his knee pads and burger towel sitting to the side, ready to go. When people say stuff like that, do you realize how ignorant you sound? When you say at the end of the season, a team that played an ACC schedule ended up playing more teams that finished in the top 25 than a team from the SEC East. And then they're like, well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, those facts kind of hurt feelings, don't they? Stupid. But keep on with those knee pads. I hear they're making some now that you can get that have like some titanium in them so they don't wear out as much. Anyway, moving on. Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State could go 9-3. Peg and Megan says I'm ignoring context. All right, here's the thing. How am I ignoring context? South Carolina played 3 teams that finished in the top 25. Clemson played 4 teams that finished in the top 25 in the regular season. What is the context that I'm missing? Oh, they don't have SEC teams are if they're not ranked, it's just because the Big Ten folks don't like them. That's what it's basically going to come down to. And by the way, I know why this pisses off Peg and Megan there, because his side job team, Texas A&M, didn't finish ranked in the top 25 last year. But they've got Jimbo Fisher, and they're going to win the West, right? It's a mess. A mess. Anyway, 803-470-2905. Mississippi State, I think, can win 9 games this year. With the amount of production that they've got returning, I think they're going to be great. Will Rogers is the SEC quarterback a lot of folks don't talk about. He's in a gimmick offense, just like Hendon Hooker is, but he puts up some pretty big numbers, and they return, I think it's 85% of their production from last season. So look at Peg and Megan. He's so silly. I invited titanium knee pads. I invited. How do you invite them? What's wrong with you? Carolina Jackpot says Texas A&M would have finished ranked had they not gotten COVID and destroyed Wake Forest. No, sir, you're missing the point here. Texas A&M ducked Wake Forest because the last time they played Wake Forest hung the double nickel on them. You guys seem to forget that. Michael Dobreski says, am I allowed to join the contest? It really isn't fair if I do, but it's up to you. I expect you to join the contest. You will finish in the bottom third, just like Peg and Megan, because you don't know much about football either. Anyway, moving on. Ole Miss. The thing with Ole Miss, I think they're going to miss DJ Durkin, who, by the way, shouldn't be coaching anyway, but he's going to be at A&M now. But I think that they're going to have some issues on the defensive side of the ball. So I think the ceiling for them is at 8 wins. 8 wins. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. If you'd like to join the show today. Texas A&M. You know, the more and more I look at them, I think the ceiling for Texas A&M is 9 wins this year, which is one more than Jimbo Fisher is used to. So they should be happy with that, with all the money that they're paying him. Carolina Jackpot says no one outside of the Big South Conference has ever ducked Wake Forest. Okay. They had the opportunity to go play them, and they didn't. They ducked Wake Forest, which is good because Wake Forest would have mouth pumped them. So anyway, I think 9-3 is the ceiling for them this year because we don't know who their quarterback's going to be. I know their receiver that had the trifecta got caught driving drunk, had drugs in the car, and a gun. Amazingly, all of those charges just disappeared. I don't know how that happens. You get caught drunk with drugs and you have a gun in your car. But it's all gone. It's all gone. So I don't know who they're going to throw the ball to. They do have some young guys on the defensive line that should blossom, and I think 9 wins is the ceiling there for Texas A&M. for Clemson this year, Clemson, I wanted to say their ceiling could be 12-0, but I think Clemson's going to lose a game. And the reason that I say that is because I think that the Notre Dame game is a game I think they're going to lose if Uyunglele is a starting quarterback. And I think that Dabo Swinney's probably going to be stubborn and keep rolling him out there, even though he's really not that good. And if he goes out and plays the way that he played the last time he played at Notre Dame, where he set the all-time passing record for a visiting quarterback, then Clemson will go 12-0 with ease. If he doesn't, if he's throwing for 95 yards in a game and they're just trying to kill Will Shipley and Kobe Pace, Clemson will win a lot of games, 21-16, something like that. And I think the ceiling for them is, I think, at 11, because then they're going to drop a game. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If you'd like to join us here on the program. Daddy-O says, is he still getting money from Dr. Pepper? Biscuit says Clemson can absolutely go 12-0. You might be right. I just think they're going to lose a game. And I think their ceiling is going to be altered because of the quarterback play. And I think Dabo Swinney is going to be stubborn and not put that freshman in. I really, really believe that. Mike's got an NFL question. Currently, there are only 2 Clemson guys suspended. Do you think a third Clemson player will be suspended this season? Not sure what he's talking about. Jetmex says A&M is the new Nebraska. Oh, he's talking about DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson. First of all, yes, they are Clemson guys. Second of all, they're in the NFL now, so I don't know how that's going to work out for them. We've talked about Deshaun Watson. He needs to, there's something not chemically right there. We've talked about that. As far as Nuke Hopkins goes, if you think that people don't, what was it he got busted for? I can't remember. It was some performance enhancing drug. He didn't pee on the right day. So if you think that people aren't using that stuff in everywhere and in the pros, you're out of your mind. Jetmex says A&M's the new Nebraska with regard to keeping players out of jail. Good point. All right, 803-470-2905. Tennessee, by the way. What was the notes that I had on Tennessee? Oh, yeah. I read this. This was from Connor O'Gara. He says, in the post-Phil Fulmer era, Tennessee is a combined 4-35 against Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Now, people are talking about maybe they could go 11-1. I've seen that with some Tennessee folks. I'm just saying it's out there. I'm not completely buying that. Peg and Megan, thank you for the super chat. I will read it as we read all super chats here. He says, just buy a Danny Cannell mask and get it over with. Okay. Not sure what that means. Anyway, Connor O'Gara had them at 9-3 for Tennessee. I don't think so. Because I think that Tennessee, they're going to lose to Alabama. They're going to lose to Georgia. I've seen where Tennessee folks have talked about, we could go 11-1. We could go 10-2. Yeah, I think if the stars align correctly, and what I mean by stars align correctly is if we go back to the year that Will Muschamp won 9 games at South Carolina, where they had all those dumpster fires line up, and South Carolina knocked off, what was it, Florida? They knocked off, it was Auburn too, if I remember correctly. They knocked off teams that in a normal season they wouldn't have had a shot in hell of beating, with that Shemp lookalike from the Three Stooges as their head coach. They need that kind of lineup for Tennessee this season if they're going to go 9-3 or 10-2, as most Vols fans think they're going to do. By the way, they gave up they were one of the teams that gave up a ton of sacks last season, and they lost Cade Mays, their left tackle, who is now going to be playing on Sundays. They're trying to bring in some guys that are going to help with that. I think your ceiling at most is probably 8 wins. Anyway, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. If if you'd like to join us here on the program today. If you want to sound off about Deshaun Watson, we'll have that. We could talk about some of the best case, worst case scenarios. I didn't do South Carolina. Hold on. I got stuff on South Carolina. I think South Carolina, their best bet would probably be an 8-win season. And I think 8 wins is probably the high mark for them. I think this team could be better than last year's team, but I think 8 wins is the absolute high mark because they have Georgia on the schedule. I think they lose that game. I think they lose. They're going to lose the matchup with Clemson at the end of the season. And there's 2 other losses that are there. I'm not sure. I think that they can beat Arkansas, but winning on the road is tough. And they've got A&M as well, even though I don't think A&M is going to be that crazy, crazy special. I think 8-4 is about where I think they're going to be. See, you've got people that make comments like this. 8 wins if everything goes wrong. 8 wins. Now, see, this is why I talk about Gamecock fans like they're just not very with it. If you have an 8-win season and you're basically rolling out a new quarterback and in the second year with your coach there, that's a great season. And see, Jackpot's being stupid today. Jackpot must have hit the beer at lunch. He's saying 10-2. I mean, there are 2 guaranteed losses on the schedule with Georgia and Clemson right there in the mix. He also says, why does everyone pencil in Georgia as a loss? Oh, I don't know, because they've got a ton of talent. Maybe that's why. All right, here we go. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, it's the Big Barney Ross here. I've got a question for you, and I'll get off here and listen to your comment.
Sure.
My question is this. What if Tennessee goes undefeated and wins a championship? I mean, wins the whole thing, never loses a game, beats everybody by 40 points, and then sometime at the end of February, the NCAA says, nah, part of your punishment for the 18 rule violation is you cannot, we'll just vacate. You know, what happens then? Big Barney Ross, think about that. I'm out of here.
Well, that's a good point from Big Barney Ross. Mizzou's head coach says that we have to vacate some wins against them too. So I don't know. Dakota says, I'm just tuning in. That's a Tennessee fan. I'll be happy with an 8-win season. Biscuit says, because people have cognitive ability. Thank you, sir. Jackpot with a hot take here. South Carolina sounds I think he means has a better chance of winning Georgia at home than beating Arkansas on the road. Oof. If you gave me the 2, I think they beat Arkansas. Mike says, we beat Georgia with Muschamp as the coach. Yes, but here's the thing with that. You had some guys in the secondary that were really, really good. So I don't know if you got the same set of guys that are up there with that. Biscuit's laughing at you guys like you're silly. Anyway, Big Barney Ross is right about that. Here's the thing, though. Tennessee fans are simple when it comes to that kind of thing because the NCAA can tell them we're going to vacate those wins, and in their mind, they're like, we still fucking beat you. So the whole vacating wins thing, I don't get. Like, that just tarnishes things? Nah. The fan base still remembers, oh, yeah, we won. We beat you. We cheated, but we still beat you. That's what the conversation will be. If you really want to punish them, do what I said a couple weeks ago when we found out what it was that they did. 2-year bowl ban, 2 years of no on-campus visit with players. So there's that. All right, let's go out to the phones. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that Tennessee's going to whoop some ass this year. That's all I wanted to say.
Is that all you're going to call and give us on the program? Is Tennessee's going to whip some ass this year? In what?
And Hendon Hooker is winning Heisman. And don't you even dare think about Cade Klubnik winning Heisman. He ain't going to do shit. Neither is DJ Uiagalelei. Y'all are going to be killed by South Carolina. The week after we kill them.
whoa, slow down, sir. You're moving a little bit too quickly here. No one on this program said that any Clemson quarterback was going to win anything. Okay. And
Good.
also, no one on this program
about it,
said
'cause you
anything
already
about Hendon
close.
Hooker. But I can tell you this: he plays in that gimmick offense, and he was out gimmicked by Will Rogers at Mississippi State. What's your comments on that?
Who are you talking about? You were breaking out.
I said Hendon Hooker plays in that gimmick offense and put up 2,700 yards, something like that last season. Whereas Will Rogers at Mississippi State, who also plays in the West, he put up over 4,000 yards. He'll put up better numbers than Hooker this year.
Fuck Will Rogers, bro. He's terrible. Hendon Hooker is the best quarterback in the SEC, and y'all find out
How do you think? Wait a minute. Hold on now. You're saying he's the best quarterback in the SEC. So in your mind, he's better than Will Rogers, who threw for 1,400 more yards than he did last season.
Young, yeah.
He's better than Bryce Young that won the Heisman Trophy. He's better than Spencer Rattler.
Hey, let me ask you a question. If Hendon Hooker was on Alabama, would they have won? Would they win the national championship this year? Would they be in contention?
No, because they don't play gimmick. They don't play gimmick bullshit offense at Alabama. He tried to play traditional offense at Virginia Tech and was fourth string.
And guess what? Josh Heupel figured him out. Josh Heupel is the best recruiter in the nation. He just got that quarterback for $8 million in the NIL deal. He's the best quarterback in the nation. Awesome. Tennessee's coming for him. You're lucky Tennessee don't play Clemson. You're gonna see.
What are we going to see, man? Just look, here's what you need to do as a Tennessee fan. All right. First of all, when you go to the store, I'm going to help you out here. When you go to the store, buy the Great Value mustard. That way you can throw that. It's only 89 cents. You don't need to spend the $3 on the French's mustard if you're just going to throw it at someone. Okay. So buy the Great Value mustard. And the second thing is, why buy the Great Value? Because you don't want to spend the $3. Why would you do that? You could save $2.11 on that stuff, man. You could buy 3 bottles of the Great Value, because you're going to get pissed off when someone like Lane Kiffin comes back in and wipes his dick on the curtains like he did last year.
Hey, we don't play on this year.
Yeah, it's a good thing, because they would whip your ass too, just like they did in your house last year.
Hey, after this show is over, or after the season's over, I'm gonna come back after Tennessee wins the SEC East and is in the SEC championship. And we're gonna see who's
the only thing that you will have in common and come back on this show is, just like a lot of Tennessee folks, you'll trade in the Klan hood and turn that into a Casper robe, and you will ghost out. That's all I'll get from you.
We will win the SEC East. You'll see. We'll beat Georgia. We'll beat Alabama. We'll beat LSU. We'll go undefeated on it. We might lose one game that we're supposed to win, but we will win every. I
don't even know your name to even put it on the bookcase of accountability. But we'll just call you what your name is, Billy. Okay, so Billy, the deranged Tennessee fan, says they're going to beat Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, and they're going to win the entire thing.
We might lose one of them. We might lose one of them, but we're going to be in the
You're already, dude. To quote the comrade who's in the comments section now, I can cue up Billie Jean from Michael Jackson. You're already moonwalking, sir.
And we might win all of those. I'm saying we'll have one loss on the season. One loss.
Well, and maybe one day I'll sprout up and be 6'5", and with my jumper I'll be in the NBA. We can all have dreams.
That's not a dream. That's a reality. That's going to happen. We're going to blow South Carolina out, and then South Carolina's going to come in your house and blow y'all out. You'll see.
You think South Carolina is going to Clemson to blow them out?
South Carolina is going to whoop up on them Tigers.
Are you high?
Hey, who's the best quarterback in South Carolina? The
Coastal quarterback.
South Carolina finally has the quarterback edge in this matchup, and y'all go see what happens. Spencer Rattler is the real deal.
Well, if Spencer Rattler's the real deal, then how the hell is Tennessee going to blow them out with that piss poor secondary they've got? You want to walk that back too?
Does South Carolina have Hendon Hooker? No, they don't.
Is Hendon Hooker going to play in the secondary, because he'd be more valuable there than at quarterback? Because in the gimmick offense, you can run anybody out there.
We can put you out there.
You don't want to put me out there at safety. I'm too short. I got nothing for you on that.
But I'm saying we have Hendon Hooker at quarterback. He's going to score every single time.
I might block better than those. I might block better than some of those offensive linemen you got, though. At least for a play or two.
Oh, our offensive line are dogs. They're dogs. I'm telling you.
Okay.
We're hungry. Sure. We're hungry. We're gonna. Yeah. Put this on the record. We will blow Pittsburgh out. We will blow Kentucky out, and we will beat Georgia.
Well, you said you were going to beat LSU and Alabama. Do you want that there too?
Well, hey, we might lose one of those games, but we're not losing 2. I can promise you, we're not losing 2 this year.
Which 2 are
we're
you
going to
talking
be in the
about, man?
SEC championship.
You're going to be in
What?
the SEC championship. Okay.
And then we're going to be in the playoffs, and then we're going to see who's laughing. And once I come back on the show, you're going to see who's laughing, and we're going to see who looks like a dumbass.
Well, I tell you what, I won't see your Casper ass after like probably when do they play Pitt? I probably won't hear from you after the Pitt game, but
We're playing
you're
week
always
2.
welcome to
Week
call
2,
the show.
September 10th.
Well, don't lose at the catch-up
playing week
bottle,
2.
all right?
Don't lose what?
Anything else?
I just wanted to say, man, that once I'm right, hey, you don't put $100 down? Let's put $100 down.
Man,
Hayden Hooker wins Heisman.
look, let me explain something to you. There are 4 people that are part of this show that I will place bets with. The comrade who lives over in Blythewood near me, Carolina Jackpot, because I know he'll pay up. Peg and Megan will pay, and Big Barney Ross. I ain't betting with anybody else. I don't know anybody else like that.
Because you know you're going to be wrong. Because you all talk because you know you're going to be wrong. Hayden Hooker will win the Heisman, and we'll all see who's left.
See, here's the thing. You make all these comments, but after Tennessee goes 8-4 or 7-5, we won't hear from you again until next summer. And you'll be talking about how your Leave It to Beaver coach went out there and did some great stuff.
What is your prediction on Tennessee's record? What do you think our record is going to be?
I just told, if you were listening earlier, I said their best case scenario is an 8-4 season.
Oh my gosh, you're insane. Something's wrong, man. That's terrible.
The comrade says they couldn't even win.
Who?
Sir, you couldn't win the SEC and you had Peyton Manning. That's a very good point.
That was a down year. They got lucky.
It was a down year with Peyton Manning. Okay. Anything else?
Let me tell you this. No, all I want to say is just hey. All I'm saying is all I ask is you remember this conversation. All I ask you remember this conversation. So when I call,
dude, I don't know you, man. I don't know you. You sound like any other drunk Tennessee fan that calls a show and is pitching their craziness.
Hey, remember me about Billy. I'm Billy. You better remember me, all right? Because once I'm right,
then you
go forget. Why don't you forget?
Why don't you change your name to something else, man? What is it? Was Billy or is it Willie? Billy? What you got?
It's Billy. It's Billy. I've been said Billy.
Okay, Billy. I will remember that.
All right.
I'm gonna write it down.
Don't you forget
Billy, the drunk Tennessee fan, says they're going to the SEC championship game. That's not happening.
Once I'm right, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't remember you saying that. Oh, I don't remember that. I never said they were going 7-5.
Dude, I don't do that. I took shit from Georgia fans last season because I said they would never win the national title. I came on. I did a live show during the damn national championship game.
So you don't know what you're talking about.
I stand and face the music every single time when I'm wrong.
So you don't know what you're talking about. Sounds good.
I know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, anyway.
We'll see who's right.
We'll see who's right. Please don't drink and drive, sir.
All right, bye.
Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
How you doing? This is the Biscuit.
Hi, Biscuit.
Welcome to the program. So that last caller.
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. Let me kill this. Okay, sorry. So that last caller, what he needs to do is he needs to go get all the money out of his trailer that he possibly can, and go to Vegas and place a bet on Tennessee to win the SEC or I don't even know what he said, national title. I mean, I don't know, make the playoffs.
He said that they were going to, if I remember correctly, that they're going to the SEC championship game and then they're going to the playoff. He didn't say they'd win the national title.
Well, I'm telling you, I mean, he's very confident, so he should again get all the money that he has. Get another loan on his truck, get another mortgage on his trailer, and he should go to Vegas today, fly there, and he would have terrific odds, and he'll be a millionaire. Then he can call us and tell us how he's a millionaire now, in addition to Tennessee being the SEC champions and going to the playoff during this Christmas season. This sort of thing from these Tennessee fans, this is what I absolutely love because it's like cologne for me. I like to put it on. I love Tennessee hope. I love it. Because when they're 3-2 going into the Bama game, I'm gonna laugh all fall.
So I've got Tennessee fans, they need counseling during the season. They'll make comments like this.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Exactly. How are you at 7-5 and losing to Purdue? Oh, we're fine, but you just wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand.
This is a team, you're right. This is a team coming off of a loss to Purdue in a bowl game. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, certainly the arrow is pointing up for him, but
Well,
at
that's
7 at 6,
it's
and they
it's
lost their bowl game. And I mean, I don't understand all this
it's
hype. I
baby
mean,
steps. It's baby steps. They should try to getting to 8-4 and winning a bowl game. That should be the Tennessee mentality this year.
yeah, and I honestly think this year they get to 8-4. I think that's about where they're at. But but yeah, that was funny listening to that. I love when those guys call in. That's hilarious, man.
That cologne turns into tears quickly. So
anyway, sorry, I won't take up all your time. But
no, you're good, man. I
yeah,
appreciate it as always. So thank you, man, for calling
thanks.
the show. You have a great day. All right. All right.
You too.
803. Yeah. Peg and Megan says last name Billy, first name Hill. you got me there, buddy. That's some great stuff there. All right, 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. Final call for calls this afternoon. And it's not about ripping Tennessee every day. It's not about that. It's just Tennessee fans are like mosquitoes right now. They're out and about, but they won't be here in October. Kind of believe that. Their Super Bowl this year is probably the South Carolina game. Really. They want to make sure they finish ahead of South Carolina. That way they don't get lose the recruiting leg up in the East there. Daddy O says the richest man in Knoxville this fall will be a crisis counselor. Carolina Jackpot says, how bold of a prediction is it that the Vols and Gamecocks both win 10 games? If we're talking about with a bowl game where you have, I don't think that both of them can win 10 games. If that happens, then Kentucky's going to have to be the drizzling shits. And you would think that one of these teams has to beat Georgia. I don't know. Both teams winning 10 games, that's tough. If we're talking with a bowl bid, we'll see. Dakota says, write it down. Win or lose, I'll be here. I'm not making no dumbass projections. That's fine. You don't have to make projections to enjoy the show. What you can do, though, is get into the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. The link is in the subscription here. It's in the what is it the term that I'm using? Blah. In the show description. It's right there. Just put it, click the link, send $20 to Carolina Jackpot. He will hold on to it. And at the end of the year, you'll pick games every single week. There'll be a nice form that you'll fill out. Once you do that, you can you pick every week. The winner will get a nice big fat wad of cash. Just don't use it at the strip club. Don't need to do that. All right. Final call for calls, 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Dakota says, I'm doing that Thursday. Hey, good. Get started early. I told you, Jackpot's going crazy here. He wants to pick week 0 games. So for us to pick week 0 games, hold on, because these are the games that, like, he says that there are lines on. Hold on, like ESPN doesn't even have, like, normally on their top scroll thing up here, they have NCAA football. They need to get their shit together. No one cares about hockey. I mean, hockey's out of season right now. Why is that on the top up there anyway? So when we look at the schedule here, so your first set of games in week 0, Jackpot wants to pick these games. Nevada at New Mexico State, Austin P at Western Kentucky. Here's the best one, Nebraska versus Northwestern in Dublin. What the hell? Idaho State at UNLV, UConn at Utah State, Wyoming at Illinois. Florida State welcomes in Duquesne. Charlotte plays at Florida Atlantic. Florida A&M at North Carolina. North Texas at UTEP. And Vandy at Hawaii. So Jackpot wants to pick those games. So if we're going to do that, that means that we've got 26 days to fill out the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. There you go. Got to have that. So get involved now. The link is in the description. All right. Appreciate you guys as always. Of course. Deltas, I love ripping Tennessee fans. Man, I rip Texas A&M fans, Kentucky fans, whoever, man. It doesn't matter where you come from. All are equally rippable here. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.